Good morning, and how the devil are you doing this fine day? Me, I am genuinely looking forward to sharing today's show with you. I do look forward to sharing all these shows with you, actually, but today's show is even bigger and more packed than usual. And the final part of today's episode is a subject that is close to my heart, and I think to the hearts of countless others around the world. So, the flux capacitor is primed. It's receiving 1.20 gigawatts of power, and we're almost at the required 88 miles an hour. So let's roll that intro. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I'm your host, Mark Anthony. It's Friday, the 10th of September, and as that ever-present guy just said, welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony. In today's show, Thunder Bay Power Plant popped. Rye Group has gone all in on HVO. Manitou has gone underground in pursuit of mining customers, and Brokk has put itself on a pedestal. We are hoping also to throw over to our roving reporter, Peter Haddock, who is actually out on site at the moment. Fingers crossed on that. And on the eve of the 20th anniversary of 9/11, we'll be looking back at those tragic events and at one demolition company's role in the recovery operation. Just so you know, I'm also planning to hang around after the show, so if you'd like to share your own personal recollections of 9/11, please join us. I'll post a link in the chat a bit later on to allow you to join me on the show if you wish. But first, let's see which of the rich and the shameless. I want to do that again. Let's see who among the rich and the shameless will be celebrating their birthdays on this day of days. It's many happy returns to golfing legend Arnold Palmer, to Slade drummer Don Powell, Aerosmith guitarist Joe Perry, and Johnny Fingers, pianist with the Boomtown Rats. That looked like quite a band, wouldn't they? Happy birthday also to actor Colin Firth and to film director Guy Ritchie. Many happy returns to them, one and all. Many companies have mission statements. A good many have a tagline, a short phrase that sums up the hopes, aims, and ambitions of the company and those working within it. But the actions of some companies doesn't always match the tagline. That most certainly is not the case at Rye Group. The company recently adopted the tagline, the sustainable standard, and it's a tagline that is driving every aspect of the company's business. Case in point, while many companies are making noises about switching to hydro-treated vegetable oil, or HVO to its friends, Rye Group has already gone all in, ditching diesel and taking its HVO fuel from the fine folks at New Era Fuels. At the same time, the company has just invested in not one, not two, but 3 new Caterpillar excavators that are now running exclusively on HVO. And we went to see one of them in action yesterday. We are planning to bring you a longer film on Monday, assuming we will make it through the weekend unscathed. But here, for your viewing pleasure, is just a sneak preview. Make sure you tune in on Monday's show to see the full film once we get that through the edit process. Right, who would like to see the tallest structure in northwest Ontario come crashing to the ground? Everyone? Okay, cool. That was the 200-metre tall stack that towered over the OPG generating station at Thunder Bay, right on the shores of Lake Superior. Doesn't tower over it anymore. Now, I'm just hearing in my ears that our roving reporter Peter Haddock is on site in Manchester and standing by. Let's see if we can throw over to him right now.
Hi folks, I'm coming live here today from the Urban Regen site in Manchester, old Greyhound Racing Stadium here in Gorton in Manchester. Basically, you see the EC300 next to me, and behind that is the UK's first EC350 demolition spec. Both of them have got Leica machine control on them. They're digging here to the side. They've already been grading using that machine control. It's going to be housing blocks here, so they've got the whole 3D model on site here. Steaming a bit hot today. They're expected to get the weather and the rain coming down, so I thought I'd record this for everyone. Have a great day, have a great weekend. Cheers.
Another outside broadcast in the can. It always amazes me when this technology works, actually.
The Miller GT series heralds a new era of unrivaled power and cutting-edge intelligent coupler technology, increasing job site safety, machine versatility, and productivity. It's the added versatility that you need at the value you can afford. To find out more, visit millergroundbreaking.com.
What were you doing at 9 o'clock last night? Well, while most of you were probably slumped in front of the TV, out for dinner or down the pub, I was taking part in the grand unveiling of a brand new telescopic handler. The things I do for you people, eh? Now, I know that there are telehandlers for construction and telehandlers for the agricultural sector as well. There's also been some designed specifically for plant hire and rental fleet owners. But those fine folks at Manitou last night drew back the curtain on a telehandler that's been developed specifically for underground mining applications. And here it is. Now, speaking of new equipment with a mining bias, Brokk, a company more normally associated with remote-controlled demolition robots, is to introduce the Brokk Pedestal boom, a compact stationary breaker boom system for the mining and aggregates industry. The breaker boom pairs Brokk's three-part arm system with 360-degree slewing capability for maximum versatility. The unit could be operated with either the tethered remote or from a control room. Depending on network configuration, the machine can be controlled from up to 2,000 meters away using video monitoring to ensure safety and efficiency. The pedestal boom, comes standard with a corresponding BHB hydraulic breaker for optimum efficiency and braking capacity. Now, Brokk is actually showcasing the pedestal boom at the Mine Expo show in Las Vegas next week. I was supposed to be there, but, well, COVID. You can find out more about it over at brokk.com, though. You know that expression, a JFK moment, a moment so momentous that you will always recall precisely where you were when it happened. Now, I'm a little too young to recall the actual JFK moment itself, but I've had three such moments in my life. The first happened on the 31st of August, 1997. I was on holiday in Portugal with my wife and my children. My kids were watching cartoons while I fixed them breakfast. Those cartoons were interrupted with a newsflash that announced the death of Princess Diana. Now, I'm not a royalist, far from it, but the outpouring of grief in Portugal that morning, and even more when we made it home, means that that day has stuck with me ever since. My last JFK moment came on the 23rd of February 2016. I was driving home down the M40 motorway when the radio announced that there had been an incident at the Didcot power station. Now, I visited the power station several times to see the ongoing demolition, so my attention was immediately triggered. Yet my initial thought was that there was no way this could be linked to the demolition taking place at the site. Sadly and tragically, that was precisely what had happened, and over the next 24 hours, it quickly became clear that the UK demolition industry had lost 4 of its number in tragic circumstances. However, my biggest JFK moment took place 20 years ago tomorrow. I was working from home, researching a story via a journalist chat room. Someone in the online chat mentioned that a plane had crashed into the World Trade Center in New York. I flicked on the TV, expecting to see the remnants of a light aircraft jutting out of the building. Instead, there was a gaping hole in the North Tower from which smoke was now billowing. As I watched, the TV pictures showed a plane hitting a tower. And probably for the only time in my life, I did a genuine double take. How could a plane be hitting the tower when there was already smoke billowing from the building? It took several seconds for both me and the TV presenter to realize that this wasn't a replay or a second angle, but a second plane. This one hitting the South Tower. It took several moments more to realize that this wasn't an accident, but a targeted and deadly attack. It seems trite to say it now, but the world literally would never be the same again. Through a mix of confusion, concern, and I guess morbid fascination, I watched this all unfold until about 4 in the morning UK time. I watched it again all the following day and the day after that. I did no work for 4 days. Now, while I sat transfixed, unable to process what had happened and unable to offer any kind of assistance, others acted. There were the first responders, of course, the firefighters, the paramedics, and the police. They were already known as New York's finest. On the day of the attack and in the days, weeks, and months that followed, they demonstrated why. There were also countless acts of selfless heroism. And my personal favourite is the tale of Boardwalk Empire actor Steve Buscemi. Before becoming an actor, Buscemi had served as a firefighter in New York's Little Italy. On 9/11, he quietly and voluntarily rejoined his former firehouse. On September the 12th, 2001, and for several days following, Buscemi worked 12-hour shifts alongside other firefighters, digging and sifting through the rubble from the World Trade Center, looking for survivors. But there's another story. Excuse me one second. There's another story of quiet, voluntary heroism. And it's a story that has its origins right here in the demolition industry. 2 days after 9/11, a demolition man called David Griffin drove some 500 miles from his home in North Carolina to New York's Ground Zero to see if he could help. The next thing he knew, his company, D.H. Griffin, was contracted to clean up the site, all 17 million square feet of it. Take a look at this film that recounts David Griffin's experience.
And so when you look at these, does it kind of bring you back to that time?
Oh, yeah, it really does.
For David Griffin Jr., looking back at photos of the rubble left behind when the Twin Towers fell on September 11th, 2001, is humbling.
This is part of one of the planes. That's a window seat. Pictures really just don't do it justice.
Griffin drove to New York on September 13th to see if he could help. It fell and went everywhere.
It went everywhere.
Yeah. The next thing he knew, his company, D.H. Griffin, which is headquartered in Greensboro, was contracted to clean up the site. 17 million square feet. Yes. When you looked at this, it had to be so overwhelming at first to say, where do we even begin?
It really was. The site was so big, but it was also so challenging, so dangerous. It was an honor to be there, but at the same time, it was the largest demolition project that has ever been done in America.
The hardest part was finding bodies in the debris, which happened several times a day.
It was kind of an emotional roller coaster, physically, mentally, spiritually. It was heart-wrenching a lot of days, and especially when you'd see the pictures along the walls of like, hey, find my daddy, or find my mom. And I mean, it would tear at your heart.
Griffin will never forget 9/11.
I think it's a day it changed my life. I think it changed America forever.
And he wants to make sure no one else forgets either.
We should never forget a lot of people paid the ultimate sacrifice, doing no different what we're doing today, just our job.
The term hero is bandied around a little too easily these days. The media will declare someone a hero for scoring a winning goal or rescuing a cat from a tree. I've taken the time to look up the true meaning of the term hero. It's defined as a person who is admired for their courage, outstanding achievements, or noble qualities. By that definition, the 9/11 first responders unquestionably qualify. Steve Buscemi and the countless others, and the countless others and unnamed others actually, that offered help and assistance also earn the title hero. And in my opinion, David Griffin also qualifies. They say you should never meet your heroes, but in David Griffin's case, I'd happily make an exception.
Sorry to interrupt the guy with the funny glasses, but if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button as it helps our channel. Or better still, share this video with a friend or a colleague. Thank you. Right, back to Beardy.
Well, that pretty much wraps up the proper part of this morning's show. I will roll the outro in just a second before hopping over into the chat. As today is a Friday, I've set aside some additional time for an extended after-show hangout. If you have a look in the chat now, you will see a link that will actually allow you to join me on the show, should you so desire. The main theme of the hangout will probably be 9/11, but it's an open house. If there's anything you'd like to add to the conversation or share with the rest of the viewing audience, then please hop on and help yourselves. Just to let you know, you will need either a PC with a working webcam and microphone or a smartphone or tablet, but you can join us on the show. Or if you just like to post any comments in the chat, you feel free to do that. Let me have a look. Just one other point. If you are going to join us on the show, conspiracy theorists need not apply, and please keep it clean, people. We do occasionally have children watching, so yeah, keep it clean. Also, just a quick reminder that our weekly roundup show, The Weekend Wrap, will drop at some ungodly hour tomorrow, and of course I'll be back here on Monday, same time, same place, with yet more of this old stuff and nonsense. For the time being, stay safe, look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues. Have a great weekend, and thanks for watching.